Next up in the Harvey Keitel box set from Imprint is Imaginary Crimes from 1994. Another one of those movies that I have never heard of before and had never even come across. Set in the 60s, we follow Ray Wyler, which is Harvey Keitel's character, as he is a conman, a man who has lost his wife, who moves with his two daughters. We've got Sonia, played by Fruza Balk, and we have Greta, played by Elizabeth Moss, a very young Elizabeth Moss, and they kind of bounce about playing little confidence scams on everybody. He takes them to school, he talks persons round, he bounces checks to get the education that his kids needs, and when he drains this well, he'll move on to the next town and create something else. But this is a town where they kind of settle down a little bit.
I told you I'll have the cash by the end of the week, Rox.
I've been saying that for months. Bye, girls.
Well, you know, usually an employee gives an employer notice.
It's an important year for the oldest kid, Sonia, and she is starting to make friends, become comfortable in setting down roots, and that kind of causes a divide between her father and her. Of course, he's got this big scam about gold in them dear hills and is trying to con people into signing up for this. And everything about this is fine. It's just fine. It's not a story that I feel wrapped up in because it all feels manufactured. It feels like a movie, you know, where you're watching a hard-up character who does horrible and reprehensible things, but he does it with a bit of charm and a bit of smile, so we know he's not completely bad, and he kind of does love his kids, so we're just kind of hoping that there's going to be a big happy ending for everybody at the end of this one.
At times, life is going to be stormy, sweetheart. And when those winds blow, you're going to have to plant your little feet, lean into it, and buck the wind.
And a lot of the antagonizing situations comes from the father and oldest daughter's disparaging distance of how they live their life. They're starting to pull apart from each other and want different things. And we kind of see a lot of this through Sonia's eyes as she writes these stories about her mother, about the experiences they had, how everything was different once her mother died, and that kind of led their father down this path of grief that led to all kinds of other con man type of situations, and everything just feels perfunctory. It's not bad, it's not good, it's not outstaying its welcome. It has some nice actors in this one as well, some familiar faces that are nice to pop up and see them do the little scene disappear.
I was just telling Eddie.
Cut the crap, Wyler. You've been steering clear of me for weeks and I don't like it.
Keitel is by the numbers Keitel. He's playing that father who is loving and somewhat doting, but also a con man looking for money to get by. Unwilling to roll up his sleeves and do the necessary work to raise his daughters, he's looking for the quick fix and running away and dealing with grief in a different manner. But none of these subjects are really touched upon, really, and it feels as if everything is just kind of surface level and ends up in a remarkably convenient bow at the end of this one that just made everything feel manufactured. You know, it doesn't have that hard-hitting nature of Bad Lieutenant. It didn't have the great score or the rough characters or storyline of the Young Americans. Hell, it didn't even have that belief that, say, Dangerous Game had within itself. It just ticks off the boxes and doesn't want to do any more than that. I thought Imaginary Crimes was completely average. It was competently made. It tells a tale that was fine, I suppose. The characters were all fine. Everything was just fine. And that can be a little bit underwhelming when you see some of the other films in this set. Let's dive into the disc of Imaginary Crimes and see what else there is on here. We are in the disc for Imaginary Crimes. Let's go to the special features. First up, we've got an audio commentary by critic A.S. Hamra. Then we have Crimes Confessional, interview with director Anthony Drazen, which is 20 minutes 36 seconds. He comes across as really proud about the film, how he was a director for hire, and the script is all kind of locked with Harvey Keitel as the main lead and how Harvey pushed for him to get the job. Then we have Composing for Crimes, interview with the composer Stephen Endelman, who talks a lot about a baby analogy, which it kind of works, but at the same time it just feels weird, and a lot about wind instruments and the clarinet that was used throughout the score. And then there's a theatrical trailer, and that's the extras for Imaginary Crimes. There we have it. Imaginary Crimes is part of this Harvey Keitel set, is out now. It's another one that I would say, I mean, if you get nothing else to watch, I suppose, but if you don't really need to watch it, just walk on by. You're not missing much. I'd love to know your thoughts on Imaginary Crimes, so let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, feel somewhere in the middle. I'd love to know your point on this film. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff in the description box below, or links to Patreon, membership program, manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.